Red alert. All hands to battle stations. Engage.
And welcome to Space Dock Jury Minisode number...
Don't panic, Mr. Mannering! Don't panic!
Yes, hello, I'm Lee.
I'm Peter.
And I'm Andy. And come on up, Pete, you always go second. Always. Always! Why do you wait? I'm never going to go second, because it goes Lee, and then you, and then me.
It's fine. Look, guys, look, I know the tensions are running high. I know we've just watched some of the lovely footage coming out of San Diego Comic-Con, but let's not all turn on ourselves because we have other fish to fry. We arrived today recording on a Sunday, which is usually traditionally the Good Reverend's busiest work day.
But it's cancelled church because this is more important. It's a whole congregation at his church sitting around twiddling thumbs going, where do you run off to in a hurry?
Yeah.
Why did he look so cross?
Exactly.
All of a sudden in the sky there was this Star Trek Delta light coming from a distant searchlight and I must away.
Yeah. Yeah. Anne-Marie, take this for me, handing over the cassock. Anyway. So, basically, amongst all the thousands of trailers for superheroes, new and old, and loads of announcements about large monkeys, San Diego Comic-Con dropped one other thing on us, didn't they? They dropped a trailer, a test trailer, apparently, for Star Trek Discovery. And then it showed us the Discovery. And here we are.
Yes.
Would anyone who would like to go first on the Discovery? Because basically, all we got was a spaceship leaving space dock. So we are basing this not on the quality of the show, purely on the spaceship that's seen, which is right in our wheelhouse. And seeing as Pete was the one most inconvenienced by this minisode because it's his working day. I think it's only fair that maybe he gives his opinion first. So, Mr. Organ, Reverend, give us your opinion on what you thought of the USS Discovery NCC-1031.
Well, my initial thought was, interesting. Are they trying to design the ship to look like the logo? Because that's kind of that weird angular thing. Oh, blimey. And then it was like, oh, that's kind of familiar. And then immediately various people put their images up of Probert's working design for the dropped second TV series. So that's a good idea, isn't it? Yeah, Macquarie, that's it, yeah. It's like, that was a good idea then. They dug that out the bin for this, did they? But... I mean, the warp nacelles are interesting. They kind of suggest that the show is going to be set around the time of the original series because they're like original series nacelles. It's just they've got 3 in each one. You know what I mean?
It would also match up with the registry number.
It would do.
Right. Okay.
Just I'm not sure that's a good idea either. Really. Okay. I mean, it didn't work so well with Enterprise.
Oh, okay. Well, then, just for those of you who aren't Trekkies or any kind of Trek, how does the number registry give us a TOS hint?
Well, when you think that the Enterprise is 1701 and this one's lower than that,
1031, I believe.
Okay,
yeah.
so okay,
and supposedly, registry numbers are meant to be chronological, either to the ship or the class of ship, i.e., the 170 series with the Constitution ships, which came out TOS. Then you had the Miranda classes, which originally were 18 below series, then the Excelsiors were all in the 2000 range, and then by the time you get up to the next generation, they're all 74 100s, whatever.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. Okay, so carry on, Pete.
But it's not completely consistent, so this may yet not indicate what we think it might indicate. So, but hey, we're judging all this from a bunch of numbers on the ship, aren't we? From a few seconds of footage. So
yeah, exactly. so you weren't impressed with the design then?
It's not to my liking, but then again, the D wasn't initially either, because that was quite a departure from what had gone before, and it took a little while for the D to grow on me. So I'm not damning this and saying that I won't watch the series or anything ridiculous like that, because really, to begin with, it's not the most important thing. It's quality of the characters and quality of the stories. But if their stories and characters are good enough, I suspect the design will grow on me. But we shall see.
Okay, fair enough. And what about you, Mr. Blastides? What do you think of it?
Well, I think this is very exciting because we finally have some clear, unequivocal evidence that CBS have actually invented time travel, as evidenced by they travel back to the 1970s to get the plans for the ship and then travel to the 1990s to do the CGI for the ship. Because, quite frankly, the design of the ship is largely inconsequential as far as I'm concerned. As Pete mentioned, we can get used to pretty much anything. Yeah, I mean, when we first saw the D, it was a bit jarring. When we first saw the Serenity, again, it was just, fucking hell, that is ugly. But by the end of that series, everyone loves that ship. So I think, as Pete says, if the characters and the stories and everything like that are good, that's fine. We'll come to appreciate the ship. Again, even, and we're not going to stray into it because we're going to do this tomorrow, but even the JJ prize has very much grown on me over the course of the films. However, my problem here is the quality of the rendering and what is being presented to us. Because if you look at Ralph McQuarrie's actual concept art, there's some fantastic shots of the ship entering the asteroid space dock. And it's Ralph McQuarrie's work. I mean, it's absolutely stunning. And I'm like, yes, if you could have given us a sense of that would have been great. But this literally looks like... I made a flippant comment on the Facebook group saying it looked like something out of Enterprise, but it doesn't. It looks worse than the CGV had on Enterprise, which was over 11 years ago. And I think the problem we have here is, I have it on very, very good authority that this was only signed off on paper 5 days ago before it was shown. And then they've rushed to get this out. And I think that was a massive mistake because, as we all know, you only get one chance to make a first impression. And especially if you're going to do a design which potentially might have a few fans going, ooh, I'm not too sure about that. Well, you want it to be on point. Yeah, exactly. And literally, unless they were going to stick it on a original series Constitution class, you were always going to have fans that were going to question this. And if you're going to do that, the best thing you can do is make sure that your animation is technically on point, And frankly, this is unforgivable, this quality. It's like, they'd have been better off focusing on a really good still than this animated thing, quite frankly.
Yeah. For me, I have to say I fucking hate this look. I think it's just it's appalling. It's what's the Trek to the X degree, except canonical what the Trek. I mean, it's the first time I saw it. As soon as I saw it sitting in the hangar bay, and you see it just as a tiny silhouette, I just went, "Oh no," because my first thought was that it was the Enterprise J, and then it sort of closes in, and it's just an unimaginative design. It's the McQuarrie design is awful as well. I mean, I love McQuarrie's conceptual stuff and the stuff he did for Star Wars and everything, but sometimes artists don't get on with the material, if you know what I mean, or the limitations that are placed upon them. And in the case of Star Trek, it isn't McQuarrie's thing. It really isn't. And I look at this, and all I see is someone was playing Elite one day and decided to put some nacelles and a saucer on a Cobra Mark III. And the nacelles look ridiculous with a silly little three little buzzard ram scoops in, and a sort of what looks like a 1970s remote control cowling on top of them. The saucer looks like someone sort of nicked the O-berth before it got the final cowl over the top. And the triangular base just looks ridiculous. It looks like a ship Looks like someone's gone for a high-res render of a ship from fucking asteroids. It's just awful. I mean, I know I'm one to talk about sort of, oh, let's not judge things before we see them, but that my gut instinct when seeing this ship was that is unimaginative. That is someone's just gone, right, okay, we need this in a hurry. What have we got? Okay, let's just pull this out of the mothballs.
I've got to disagree with about it being unimaginative. In so much as if it was going to be unimaginative, they would have just used an existing ship. They would have just gone with like the Constitution or something like that. I'm not saying this was the right decision they took, but they are trying to at least give it its own instant visual. Like, you look at it and instantly, you're looking at the Discovery. You're not going to mistake it for an Enterprise. You're not going to mistake it for Voyager. You're not going to mistake it for anything else.
Well, you say that, but the still that they've been putting out is ironically the one sort of predominantly featuring the saucer, and so you get the saucer, and you can just about see the back engines peeking.
Oh, I don't think that's them putting it out. I think that's just one people are grabbing off of the YouTube. That's just a thumbnail that the YouTube's throwing up.
Well, in which case, what does that tell you? I mean,
that YouTube's algorithms are shit.
No, because you can make your own. You can make your own thumbnails on YouTube. And you're telling me CBS looked at all those thumbnails with the ship coming out majestically out of the asteroid, and they looked at all these other ships and they thought, well, actually, that's the best shot, but really, we'll just let YouTube make this decision.
No, look, quite frankly, it's clear CBS don't have the firmest grasp on what's for the best, in so much they wouldn't have released this otherwise. They'd have waited until it was finished. But that aside, all I'm saying is, I don't think it's fair to say that this is completely unimaginative.
Well, considering...
it's an old design, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's lacking imagination in as much as this one dates from when they were working on Phase 2?
76. This was...
we don't get much more unimaginative.
Yeah, exactly. It is exactly that. It's well, we haven't designed anything new. We've got an old design.
Yeah, no, I agree that that's silly. Again, it was just like, look, you can do anything you want with this new show. You can be set in any period, any time. You can do whatever you want with the ship, and they've done this. So,
and let's not beat around the bush. But the fact of the matter is, as acronyms go, STD is not a good one to have.
I know. They really didn't think that through, did they?
No.
Which comes back to my point. I don't feel
like Star Trek Insurrection was SDI, which is bad enough.
Yes. STD. I mean, and it's brown. The ship is brown.
Yeah, well, there's all this talk going around that possibly it's Klingon, something to do with the Klingons, because the music sounds vaguely Klingon. Apparently, I don't really see it myself, but would explain the color scheme.
I don't get it, and I just think that the color scheme is just, again, it's partly this rushed nature of it. I mean, I don't think it's quite generic panels, but it's damn close.
It's not far off. I mean, like I say, to me, it just looks like a concept design. The whole thing. I mean, the big fat ass on it as well. And the nacelles are. I mean, I'm looking at another shot of it. I mean, the nacelles do. It looks like someone with no drawing skill, no compass, and a ruler tried to do the Enterprise D. And
it's ironic, it actually breaks Gene Roddenberry's rules for starship design. I mean, there's plenty of ships which do that, but the hero ships have generally tried to obey that, but this one doesn't.
Well, I mean, in the terms of TOS, it certainly is TOS, in my opinion. I think it's a horrible, horrible look and a horrible design, and it doesn't inspire anything in me. It just looks like the worst kind of What the Trek. It just looks like someone's just slapped some things together. It really does, and it's just the saucer's tiny as well. I mean, I know this is one of my things. If you're going to do a Trek ship, big saucer. It's the thing everyone focuses on in the show. Instead, now we've got something that looks like a pizza cutter stuck on the end of a dart flight.
It does look like you could quite easily make it out of a paper aeroplane, at least.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Recreations aren't very difficult.
Yeah, origami fans, woo, go for it. Fill your boots. It just looks like Star Trek Online. It's the worst. So there you go. Have you got any other comments to make about it?
Well, you know what this is all reminding me of?
Go on.
Well, this is all reminding me of Enterprise, because nobody liked that design when it came out initially, and I still don't, to be honest. But because that was sort of reheated. Ironically, they redid one of the Akira class, didn't they?
Yes.
For that,
they called it the Akira Prize.
Yeah, but in fairness to that, in deference to that, what I would say, and I'm not defending the Enterprise NX-01 because I'm not really a fan of it either, but the one thing you get from that, is there's a consistency. You can look at that ship and you can follow a lineage right through to the latest Enterprises. You can say, right, okay, and you see all the other ships, and they're all smooth, they're all cylindrical, they've all got curves, there's no hard edges on any of them. And you get to this, and you can sort of at least stick it in a book and go, look, you go from that to that. You go from Neanderthal ship right up to elegant Super Age Enterprise-y and beyond kind of thing. And it makes sense. Design-wise, it makes sense. This thing looks like they've taken two different elements and just stuck them on top of each other. It really does not look good at all. Oh... I really
like I said, I think at the end of the day, if the story and the characters and all that are good, I'm not going to give a shit. If the quality of the animation is at this level, I'm going to be very disappointed. Very, very disappointed. But story is king in these sort of instances. But
I agree with. I mean, if it
I think I think fundamentally it was a mistake to show it in this state.
Yeah. Very much so. It's not good at all. I don't think it's a very good design personally, but that's at the end of the day, you got to look at it this way. That design was for Phase 2. Then they were going to use it for the movie. Then they gave up on that, and they were going to use it for Next Generation, and they gave up on that. So three.
I don't think they're ever going to use it for the next. No, I mean, as I understand its backstory, this was going to be used for Planet of the Titans thing, which Roddenberry wasn't involved in because he was throwing off massive hissy fit for it. And then it get kiboshed for that. Then it was going to be used in Phase 2, but I don't think this was ever under consideration for the next gen thing.
Yeah, because it was taken as the base start for the Next Generation's design. It was that.
No, it wasn't. It was a painting that Andrew Probert did. It was that what became the Ambassador class eventually. Yeah,
but the point is, you look at the Macquarie design and you look at the Enterprise D from the back, and you can easily see where you go from one to the other.
I'm with you. I don't like this, but I think that's stretching it.
All I'm saying is it's been dumped enough times as a design.
Yeah.
I mean, how many producers and directors and set designers and prop designers have to look at it and go, nah. And then suddenly someone finds it in the back of a bin and goes, yeah, actually, we're in a rush. I mean, it's not even one of Macquarie's best designs, to be honest, by any means.
All I'm saying is I've got faith in the showrunner and the writing staff to make a good show. I hope that they do that. Yeah. This was a massive misstep in releasing this design in this way. If, like I said, if you'd have shown us a drawing, perhaps, sort of thing, yes, we could all have these arguments over whether or not it was the right idea or not. But because they realised it in 3D and they realised it poorly, in something which looks like it came out of 1995. Hell, Babylon 5 has better CGI than that fucking departure sequence there. So it shot itself in the foot in that respect. I think if you'd had Reese and his crew over at fucking DNEG had done something with this design, we may be still saying, you know what, I'm not a huge fan of it, but it wouldn't be to the level where we're going, oh my God, this whole thing's going to be a disaster. Panic, panic, panic.
No, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that either. I'm not saying it's a disaster. I'm just as a TV show, not at all. I'm just saying that right now, the one thing they have to do is, Star Trek takes a lot of knocks from bad series and good series, good films and bad films, and every time it's the faith of, it's the sort of goodwill of the of the fans to sort of keep on board. And to be quite honest, this is not after Enterprise, to suddenly go from Enterprise effectively to this, it's not a good thing. It just smacks of rushing the whole thing out, and doesn't feel. To me, it doesn't inspire confidence. And as you say, Brian Fuller's a great director and writer. The rest of the writing staff on board have all got their got their solid Trek chops. Nicholas Meyer. How can you go wrong? But
this can't have been a rush decision. It just has to have been a deliberate choice,
which makes it even worse.
I would be very interested to know the thinking which came up to this design. I don't know if it was a panel.
I think the thinking may have been, it's Comic-Con coming up. We've got to get something out quick.
Yeah.
No, again, I honestly don't think that. I think a lot of it's got down to the Macquarie lineage. I think that's going to inform their decision. I don't think it's the right decision, but I would be interested to know what stories are they looking to tell, and is there an explanation as to why it looks like this? I'm not talking in universe. I'm talking from the production standpoint. It's like, because we know from experience, it does not take you a huge amount of time to design a Trek ship. The components are quite straightforward. Saucer, tube, nacelles. Jobs are good 'un. So I don't think this was a rush design. I think they've decided to go with this for a reason. I don't know what that reason is. Don't know why they've gone with it in that reason.
The only thing I can think is it stands out. It's not going to get confused with the Enterprise. So this is their way of saying, yeah, we're doing Trek, but this is different.
It could well be that, yeah. I mean, it's the thing. I think if it's just, it comes back again to the quality of the animation. It's so bad that if they'd done something really good, something DNEG standard, something Zoic standard, something like that, with the design, well textured, well lit, unique, I think the conversation wouldn't be, oh my God, this is a misstep. It would be, why have they gone that way?
Yeah, they should have gone with a defined.
Anyway, I think I've said all I need to say. To be honest, I can't. I'll just end up rolling around in a circle. If you guys have anything else to add, by all means, go for it. But yeah, I'm just gonna be repeating myself. To be honest.
Oh, okay.
But
no, it's early days.
It is early days,
and we don't want to fall into the same trap we've seen countless times with Ghostbusters, with the Joker, with all these things.
X-Men
where
First Class.
Exactly. There's an initial release of something, and the internet, as is its wont, goes, oh, rabble, this is the worst thing ever. It's raped my childhood. Oh my God, I can't stand this. I hate this. I hate this. I hate this. Just for when the thing finally comes out, it's like, oh, actually, it wasn't too bad. So that's why I'm being more measured. Like I said, I'm with you. I'm not a fan of what I've seen, but I'm not going to let it work me up. I'm not going to let it get me into a state where I'm going, they've made a poor business decision in my estimation, and that's as far as it goes.
They chose poorly.
Yes.
Very
poorly.
Yeah, I mean, just to reiterate, I am definitely not going to turn around and go, I'm not watching this at all. It's made the worst mistake ever with this spaceship. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to say that the hype that's been building up on this series for X amount of months, and they've been doing a really nice measured job of it. And then when it came to finally shooting their load and giving you the sort of wow moment and pulling the pin on that grenade, they rolled out something that was, at best, less than impressive. And to me, that's both a missed opportunity and suddenly gives me pause to think that this is their, because rightly or wrongly, whether or not we're not judging this beforehand, but rightly or wrongly, you can't do anything but take away a statement of intent whenever someone gives you something like a trailer or a book or a review or something.
Like I said, you only get one opportunity to make a first impression.
Exactly.
And this was this was their opportunity, and they've made it. And what's even more galling is fans have taken the McQuarrie design in the past and done stuff, which to my mind looks a whole lot better than what we've had released. I've just sent you guys a picture in the chat, and this is a fan rendering based off of a McQuarrie design, which
is still carrying an Epi lady on for
but,
but yeah. But
it's
well, exactly. I mean, again,
it could have been worse though. Do you remember this little beauty?
Oh God, are we gonna? Oh God, no. Yeah, it could have been that. We're not having that. Not having the square hammer of justice.
Yes. The USS Molyneux.
Meow meow. But anyway, I mean, to be quite honest, the one pleasure I've always got out of all the Trek films, TV shows, whatever, is when they show a new ship or a new station or whatever. It's always been ooh, and this is the first time I've looked at it and gone ugh, and I actually had a visceral kind of ugh, fuck, what have they done?
Yeah.
And so that to me is the only thing that I'm carrying with me at the moment. If it turns out that the stories are good, the acting, the direction, everything like that, as you say, I could end up sort of going, well, I don't love the ship, but I like the series. But at the moment, they've had one shot, as you say, to make an impression. They've done it to me, and that impression is you were in a rush. That's the impression I got. You're in a rush. Here's the design, and you can fob it off saying, "Oh, look, 50 years of Star Trek. Look, we're going back into history. Look, you could have had this. This is Star Trek Phase 2." Woo. And that.
Well, we've got one hope is if it is still this sense of an anthology show, where every season or two it changes, we might only have to put up with it for one.
Yeah, and hope that it gets renewed for a second.
Yeah.
And Pete,
because it's not like Trek fans to swear off of watching something because they don't like a concept, an idea, or something like that. Heavens no.
No, heavens no. Anyway, so any last thoughts, Pete, before we wrap up?
No. I'll say it's very much just a wait and see, and I'm not going to let the fact that I don't think the ship's particularly nice looking deter me from looking forward to the series. So it's not such a misstep in my book. If they'd announced Jimmy Cranky as one of their casting decisions, I think that would have been worse.
Fair enough. Okay, well, there you go. So, hope you enjoyed this mini-sode. Do you agree with us? Do you disagree with us? Let us know on the Twitter, which is @SpaceDocJury, or on the Facebook group, which is facebook.com/groups/SpaceDocJury. And do join us, because tomorrow, as of recording right now, we will also all be going to see Star Trek Beyond, and there will be another mini-sode. You lucky people.
Wow.
Look at that. So there you go. So,
if lucky is indeed the word.
Well, indeed. So until next time, thank you, Pete, for giving up your Sunday. What free time you have on it.
That's all right.
And thank you, Andy.
Always welcome.
And, we'll see you all, well, I guess, tomorrow for Star Trek Beyond. Till then, tatty bye.
Cheerio, bye.
See you later, Space Cowboys.
Space Doc Jury is a production of 3 Angry Beards for GeekPlanetOnline.com.